On the 20th of June, millions around the world watched a young woman die on the streets of Tehran. The phone images had been uploaded onto the internet.
That look still challenges me. It had a message in it. I don't know what it was. The blood that came from her chest and mouth. We must remember that blood.
I mean, seeing it outside of Iran, it's scary. But when you were actually there and you think to yourself, I could be her.
This is disturbing. I want everyone to know that. But this is possibly the most seen piece of video out of Iran in the world.
Filmed at the height of protests shaking Iran, it immediately became worldwide news.
In every life, a moment comes that the integrity of some person would be tested. And I realized on that day that this was the moment in my life that I had to choose whether to keep myself safe or prove my integrity.
Pictures of the death of Neda Sultan, an Iranian who was caught up in a demonstration, have appalled people around the world.
Ever since, the Iranian regime has fought to explain what happened.
But you're not...
We want to say it's a scenario. That was pre-designed.
Pre-designed? You think it was the pre-design that she be killed so they would have it on tape?
Yes? Definitely so. We have no doubt about it.
This is the street in central Tehran, where Neda Aga Sultan was shot this summer. 3 months later, our cameraman risked arrest to film the place where she died. He looks for a spot of green paint on the road, a sign of the protest movement that filled these streets in June. To keep her name alive, protesters graffiti the walls. But the authorities keep painting it out. In death, Neda has become a symbol of the opposition in Iran and of the 80 or more protesters who died after the disputed election. This film explores the significance of her story and why the Iranian regime tried to suppress it.
The government, the Islamic Republic of Iran, is afraid of anything to do with Neda and her memory. I'm sorry to have to say this, but they are even afraid of her gravestone.
Neda's boyfriend Caspian was arrested shortly after her death and kept in prison for 65 days. Despite a climate of fear in Iran, Neda's family have also told us all about her. She was 26, with a younger brother Mohammed and an older sister Hoda. As a schoolgirl, she was top of her class. She was a theology student, but disagreed with the course and only lasted 3 terms. She'd married young and divorced. Just 2 months before her death, she met Iranian photographer Caspian Makan on holiday in Turkey.
We both love Turkey. We even had a flight booked. We planned to come to Istanbul for a few days. and then it happened.
The story of Neda's death starts with the June 2009 presidential election. Neda was desperate for change. Her sister Hoda wrote to us from Tehran.
She used to say, as we all do and know, that there is a dead, depressing air all over Iran. It's everywhere. It's in people's heart. We are condemned to depression. We are condemned to living without being able to breathe.
Neda was skeptical President Ahmadinejad would be allowed to lose. Neither she nor Caspian intended to vote. But opposition leader Mir Hossein Mousavi was gaining massive support. For those who disliked Ahmadinejad, he was a realistic alternative. Neda's friend Delvar Tabakoli decided she would vote.
I always thought the way of saying no was to boycott elections. This time I had a different feeling. I was encouraging everybody to vote. Either for Karoubi or Mousavi, it didn't matter. Neda wasn't a supporter of Mousavi. It was a protest vote. One cannot say it was in support of a candidate. It was everyone voicing protest.
As the so-called Green Movement surged around Mousavi, this was no longer the election foreign journalists like Scott Peterson had been let into cover.
Tens of thousands of people on the streets for their candidate and for both candidates. In fact, it was an extraordinary build-up to the election.
But there was deep distrust on both sides.
Just a few days before the vote, there was a rumor that swept the text messaging system, and that was that Ahmadinejad's people had imported 2 million pens with disappearing ink.
But it was like, go to the polling stations with your own pen, go between these hours, and go in the morning, don't leave it till night, don't go to the mosques, vote in schools.
Iranian journalist Faranak was one of hundreds of thousands who, despite their worries, came to believe the opposition could win.
Iranians tend to get very emotional before elections, and this time, they were like, leave alone the emotions, let's be logical. None of us really like Mousavi or Karoubi or Ahmadinejad or Rezai, but we have to get rid of Ahmadinejad or our country would just be a wreck.
There have been queues here since polls opened early this morning, despite the fact that being a Friday, today's the day most people like are lying in bed. Not today. Everybody in Iran wants to have their